Well, guys, we've made it through another week of this disastrous Trump administration. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you are finding ways to get yourself through the insanity that is currently taking place in our country. And we have made it to the 13th episode of the Weekly Roundup. And if you guys have been following along, you'll know that this is the time in the week where we gather up a whole bunch of clips. They don't necessarily touch on any particular topic, but it's kind of a way for us to wind down and look at some of the absurd things that happened throughout the week. And I just want to get a little bit of feedback from everybody who follows along on the channel here. How are you guys liking the Weekly Roundup? Do you find any value to it? Does it make you laugh? Is it something that we should continue doing? Should we change it up a little bit? So if you guys are following along, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. But I definitely want to hear from you guys. I want to know if you guys like this format or if we should do something different. Like I said, it's the 13th episode, and I've been having a lot of fun doing these, and so I hope it is providing at least some value to you guys out there. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off with our weekly countdown. Donald Trump has been in office for 17 weeks now. I know it feels like 30 years. He's got 191 weeks left to go. And for those of you counting down the days, it is 1,338 days until hopefully he leaves the White House. And we will go ahead and start off with this first clip of Jessica Tarloff having to explain to her co-hosts that Donald Trump always comes into office and takes credit for what the previous guy did. Like I said, if you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
Poodles. He has all of these big headlines, right? We're getting all of this investment, like the $8.5 billion out of Qatar for Texas energy company McDermott. That was already announced in 2023 and 2024. Abu Dhabi, he says, a new $200 billion. That's a cloud computing deal with Amazon, also announced during the Biden administration. Saudis allegedly giving us $600 million. We haven't haven't documented all of it, but we do know that the airport project was announced last August. So the Washington Post has documented all of this, that at least a half a dozen of the contracts that he's talking about happened under the Biden administration. And that is something that Trump likes to do. He likes to show up and then take credit for things.
What about?
Yeah, so this is what Donald Trump likes to do, right? He comes into office and he pretends that all of these different deals that got worked out in the Biden administration, well, they're actually his. He goes over to the Middle East and says, oh, well, we've got Qatar. They're going to put $5 trillion into the American economy. They're investing in the United States. That is just a load of shit. First of all, Qatar only has a GDP of just a little over $200 billion. To think that they are going to contribute trillions of dollars in United States investment, I mean, it is all just wild. But I think everybody should be mindful of this. If Donald Trump is taking credit for something, likely it wasn't him who got this accomplished. It was likely somebody else that he was able to come in and just take credit for. This is what Donald Trump does. He is not good at governing. All he likes to do is sit around his resolute desk and sign a whole bunch of executive orders. He's not getting a whole lot done as president. And in fact, I think he might be the president who has signed the least amount of bills in his first 100 days in office. I'm pretty sure that that is true. If not the lowest number of bills, it's very, very close. Let's go ahead and move on to this clip where you got this Joe Concha guy just acting a bit unhinged about James Comey and the seashells on the beach photo.
His wife should be spoken to. He should be arrested. End of story. No more of this. No more of this.
Yeah, and
we can't have rhetoric like this anymore.
Yeah, the media is saying it's just bartender slang.
We can't have any rhetoric like this anymore, guys. You're gonna get somebody hurt. Donald Trump is my daddy, and we can't have anything happen to him. Give me a break. Donald Trump brought all of this about in our political landscape. He was out in 2015 saying that people might be able to assert their Second Amendment rights because he didn't like something that Hillary did. He was posting images of Joe Biden hogtied in the back of a pickup truck. He once joked about a sniper shooting through the press to get to him. Donald Trump is the king of provocative rhetoric. He is the king of invoking violent rhetoric and invoking violence. And let's not forget, it was the MAGA folks who stormed the Capitol on January 6th with violence and tried to stop a free and fair election back in 2020. I mean, give me a frickin' break, people. Let's go ahead and move on to Pete Hegseth, trying to claim that there is nobody else that takes classification seriously than him.
There's a reason why our nation's most closely held secrets are contained in certain places with only access from certain people. Nobody takes that more seriously than me. If there's one thing I've sort of been offended by, I don't get offended by much. I'm here to do my job for the president, for the country, is this idea that I don't take classification or I don't take clearances seriously. Nobody takes it more seriously than me.
What are you talking about, dude? Nobody takes it more seriously than you? Why was it you who was sending classified information over a third-party messaging app to not only your wife, but to your personal lawyer, to your brother? And then you were on this same third-party messaging app where the editor to The Atlantic was on a conversation where you shared that same classified information? You're the guy who takes classification more seriously than anybody? No, you are the most incompetent Department of Defense secretary that we've ever had. It's not even close. You think because you served in the military, that somehow gives you the experience to serve in this role, but you've just proved to be incompetent. And because you look good on TV, Donald Trump has decided to keep you around. I mean, he fired Mike Walls from his post as the National Security Advisor, but you were actually the one who was leaking classified information on a third-party messaging app. Just give me a break, man. Kristi, Noem, question about what habeas corpus is.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas
right
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea.
You, ma'am, have failed the pop quiz. How is it possible that you took an oath to our Constitution and you do not even know what habeas corpus is? What is that all about? Habeas corpus is like the most fundamental right of individual freedom that we can have. It's the thing that happens before you are given due process. It just says that the government must present a reason as to why you are being detained. They must give you a way to challenge their detainment of you. I mean, how is it possible that you got that completely upside down? You said it. What did she say? Habeas corpus is the right that the president has to remove people from the country. No, it's not even close to that. In fact, it's the exact opposite of that. And you are running the Department of Homeland Security and you don't know this basic fact? Oh, man, we are cooked, guys. We are absolutely cooked. This administration is so incompetent. Here's Marco Rubio salivating at the idea of deporting more visa students.
And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ostork did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these cases, the factors are different.
Senator,
the bottom line is if you're coming here to stir up trouble on our campuses, we will deny you a visa. And if you have a
First
visa
Amendment
and we find
apply
you,
to
we'll
people
revoke
living in the United States?
And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities.
Yeah, these people are just gross. It is very un-American what he is saying here. They're basically saying that, the State Department has the right to revoke status of anybody who might have a visa and who is attending school just because they say so. What happened to these First Amendment rights? It doesn't say that only citizens have First Amendment rights. That's why this is completely un-American, because that is one of the great things about the United States. We have the right to speak up and speak our mind, whether you are criticizing the government or their foreign policy. And the argument that the Trump administration is trying to make is that, well, these people are interfering with our foreign policy. It's all just a load of shit. They are just trying to ideologically purge the United States of anybody who is not 100% in line with the MAGA movement. And it is so disappointing for somebody like Marco Rubio to be the one who is carrying this out. This is a guy who used to be relatively normal. He used to be a somewhat principled conservative who actually at least pretended to believe in free speech, but he has become completely subservient to Donald Trump, and now he is acting like one of the fascist jackbooted thugs kicking students out of the country just because they wrote an op-ed that was critical of Israel's war against Palestinians. It is so gross, and it is not the type of country that I want to live in. The government should not be allowed to come around and just rip you off the street with these masked ICE agents just because you wrote an op-ed. That is absolutely un-American. It is so disgusting to me. Let's go to move on to this clip where Jim McGovern says, well, you say Rome is burning, but who is your Caesar?
See, Rome is burning, and it doesn't seem as though people realize that.
Mr. Speaker, one of the previous Republican speakers got up and said Rome is burning. I hate to tell him, but Republicans are in charge. And Trump is your Caesar.
This is just so perfect. How many times do we hear these Republicans? They come out and they have this, this indictment against what is going on in the country right now. And then they always forget. You guys are in charge. You got Donald Trump in the White House. You've got Republicans who control the Senate. You've got Republicans who control the House. Why is everything out of control right now if you guys are in charge? And to come in front of Congress and say, Rome is burning and you guys just don't even see it. No, we see it. But who is your Caesar, bro? Who is at the top of the ticket? Who is at the top of our power chain right now? That is Donald Trump. And he came into office and decided that he wanted to just burn shit down. And that is exactly what we are seeing. And now these Republicans try to turn around and blame the whole thing on Democrats, just like they do with everything else. And I just really hope that the American people see through it. Republicans just do not know how to govern. Donald Trump in particular does not know how to govern. As I stated before, he just likes to make it look like he's getting things done. He likes to make it look like he is governing. In all reality, he's just sitting around signing pieces of paper that don't even have the same weight as law. And now they just passed this disastrous budget bill in the House that is going to kick millions upon millions of people off of their health care just so they can give more tax cuts to the wealthiest among us. This is what Republicans do. This is how they govern. It is disgusting. Let's go to move on to Jesse Waters, just saying some really heinous shit.
Now,
I wish you were.
They thought they could get away with it because they've been breaking the law and getting away with it for years. That day is over. They think these people at Biden's Justice Department are afraid of a little controversy. They think Cash, Bongino, Bondi, Pirro, Alina Habba are afraid of what the media is going to say if they arrest a Democrat for breaking the law. You guys have no idea how much fun we're having. This is a dream come true. Jessica, you started this. You raided Trump's house. You put shackles on Navarro. People were walking around the Capitol peacefully and patriotically, and they're in prison for 2 years.
Yeah, and the fascist freak just shows his true colors. I mean, it's just disgusting. What they're talking about here is LaMonica McIver, who was charged because she was supposedly assaulting ICE agents over in Newark, New Jersey. And here's Jesse Waters saying, we are having the time of our lives. We are loving that we are going after our political enemies. We are loving that we are targeting these people with arrest. This is what we've been wanting to do for years. And now we've got all the Trump sycophants surrounding the White House, and now we get to finally do it. Our fascism is coming to fruition, and we are here for it, baby. And then he goes on to say that we started this. No, it was Donald Trump who actually broke laws. It was Donald Trump who decided to rile up his MAGA supporters and stage an insurrection against the United States of America, all because he couldn't handle the thought that he actually lost the 2020 election. That is your guy. He deserved to be investigated. And when it comes to knocking down his door in Mar-a-Lago, well, maybe he should have coughed up those classified documents when the feds asked for them. Instead, you have Donald Trump playing hide-and-go-seek, trying to obstruct justice, and they waited for over a year to make a decision. It's arguably one of the reasons that we're in the position we are right now, because Donald Trump wasn't held accountable for all of his lawlessness, for his rebellion against the United States of America. And now you've got the fascist freaks on the biggest cable news network in our country, just out and out saying that we are here for the fascism. We are loving that our political enemies are now the target of our ire. Absolutely disgusting. It's un-American. It is bullshit. Just think about if the tables were turned, guys. If it was Democrats, elected Democrats, who are coming out saying something similar, conservatives' minds would just explode. It would just explode. And to finish things off for this week, here's Maxwell Frost saying that these are the people who are actually stealing from you. I like this rhetoric here.
Republicans would have us believe that the person most likely to steal from you is a person in a hoodie, a black person in a hoodie, or an immigrant with tattoos. And this is to distract.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman's recognized for an additional minute.
This is to distract from the fact that at least here tonight, the people stealing from Americans are not folks with tattoos and hoodies. It's people wearing suits and ties and congressional pins sitting in this Capitol right now. Not in some random alley wrapped in darkness, but in the United States Congress wrapped in the flag.
Yeah, he's exactly right. And I show you this because I love this rhetoric. I think this speaks to the American people in a way that resonates with them, right? You've got people in Congress right now who are going around trying to blame undocumented immigrants. They're trying to blame able-bodied males for leeching off our systems. In all reality, they are making more than $700 billion cuts to your Medicaid. They are kicking 8.6 million people off of their Medicaid, off of their health care. For the poorest among us, they're kicking them off their health care so they could give tax breaks to the wealthiest among us. They're also cutting more than $200 billion from food assistance, which means the poorest among us who depend on that extra nutritional assistance, they're getting kicked off that program because the wealthiest among us, well, they just need some more tax breaks. The people in Congress, the Republicans in Congress, are the people who are stealing from you. It's not the undocumented immigrants. It's not the regular immigrants. It's not the able-bodied males who are on Medicaid while they're in college or whatever it may be. It is Republicans in Congress who are stealing from you. They are making sure that all of these systems become less and less functional so you can point at the government and say, hey, this isn't working for me anymore, so maybe we should just tear it all down. That is the intent of what they are doing here. They are greedy assholes. They are looking out for their billionaire buddies, for their billionaire donors, and they are screwing the rest of the American people who rely on these benefits to just get by. It's absolutely disgusting, and I think this is the type of rhetoric that we should use when we are speaking about how the Republicans are currently trying to run the United States of America. So those are the clips that I had for you guys this week. Like I said, I want to hear your guys' feedback. This is the 13th installment of the Weekly Roundup. I want to know if you guys like this format, whether we should change things up, whether you're getting things out of this. Just want your feedback. You can drop that feedback in the comments if you prefer. Otherwise, guys, I will leave it there for now, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. We will see you guys next week. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We are trying to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against the right-wing media ecosystem that just launders all of this nonsense from the Republican Party day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. It is free. And if you guys want to see how Donald Trump had an absolute meltdown in the Oval Office with the South African president, go watch that video on the screen now. It is one of the best pieces of content out there. It is depressing because it is the president of the United States, but you definitely don't want to miss it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.